an honor and a pleasure to be here with you today. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Hello, Sam. My name is Desislava Simeonova, and I was born in Bulgaria. I am a high school teacher. I'm a yoga instructor. I also practice and teach meditation. And a few years ago, I discovered that I have a talent of writing. So this is how my book came into creation.
Excellent.
And this is my first book, The Path, which is about my journey, about the way I look at the world and how through self-love and self-care, I was able to connect with something that is hidden deep inside each one of us. And this is what I also have been talking about in my book.
Wonderful. What makes your book on self-discovery unique among all the books out there?
In this book, I share my journey. So this is my experience, my unique experience. It is about how I discovered how important it is to listen to myself and really allow my true self to express. So it is my path, and I hope with this book to inspire others to discover their path and be their unique selves, and just to be mindful that deep inside each one of us there is something very powerful that is waiting to awaken, and through self-care we can actually get there and connect with the light within.
Wonderful. So just a few technical questions here. Supposing that a viewer wanted to obtain your book, what's the name of the publisher and how would they obtain your book?
Yes, my book is published with Balboa Press, and it is a division of Hay House. The book is available on Amazon. It is available on Balboa Press website as well. It is available on my website, thepathbydesi.com. It is also available at Indigo, Indigo Pinecrest. They have copies available. It is available on their website as well. So there are many, and Barnes and Noble.
Wonderful. And how much is your book retailing for?
It is $19.95, around $20 is the soft copy.
Do you ever show up at Pinecrest Indigo to sign copies?
Yes, I did actually. Last year in November, I had a book signing event, and there was another one actually planned for this year, and it was scheduled for April 5th, but we need to reschedule that one. So it will happen at some point once this is over.
Wonderful. Now, we had a lovely chat last night in our virtual green room, and some of the things that struck me were that you actually have a master's degree from Bulgaria and in mathematics and computer science. Is that correct?
That's true. Yes, I graduated in Bulgaria, and I was very fortunate that the university that I graduated from was recognized here in Canada. So I didn't really need to do my master's program again. They recognized all of my diplomas, everything. So I just had to pass one proficiency language test to prove that, yes, I can teach in English. And yeah, so that was pretty much all. And I became a certified teacher, and I have been teaching in Canada since 2009. I have been teaching mathematics.
Mathematics, high school mathematics.
High school mathematics. I also taught computer science, but currently I'm teaching mathematics.
So this is interesting how you have a hardcore math and computer science background, and yet this journey of self-discovery was one of very more esoteric, shall we say, through yoga and meditation, and led to the writing of this book. Can you talk a little bit about that journey?
Yes, actually math and computer science taught me some essential skills that were really important and helped me evolve as a soul. Math is a subject that is not easy to grasp, but it taught me to be patient with myself very patient because things do happen, but it takes time. Also, math taught me to not give up easily, just to persevere and to be consistent, because with math, you do need to practice regularly. It's not a subject that you can do once in a while and then expect good results. And I was pretty motivated. And the truth is that I was a very shy person, and I was not doing really well at grade 1 to 4. I was not a good student at all. And the main reason for that was not that I wasn't trying. I just didn't have any confidence and I didn't believe in myself. And in grade 5, 6, I met with a gorgeous math teacher, and she actually believed in me, and she found a different way of evaluating me. And that actually made me believe that I can perform well in math. And since that moment, I started excelling in every single subject just by this fact that I was able to perform well in such a difficult subject. And what happened is that I started believing in myself, and people around started believing in myself. And I was gaining more and more confidence, and I was just at the point where I realized that nothing can really stop me. So math was very, very important step in my journey. And so these are building blocks. If we want to really connect with the truth within, we need to really give ourselves some time to explore, to practice. Practice is the key. We really need to practice and to trust and to follow these laws. Like in math, there are some laws that we need to follow. There are these theorems that we don't take them for granted. Everything is proven. So that's the same with like the spiritual journey. You have to really be consistent, practice, and there is truth that is waiting to be discovered. And through practice, with patience, consistency, and perseverance, one can get really, really far. And so they played an important role in my life.
You talk about this practice in your book, The Path, then, is that correct? So is it enough to just want to be better and then try to be more patient? Or tell us more about what you believe we should be doing in order to practice and be applied in our journey or our quest for self-improvement, self-discovery.
Yes, so in my book, I talk about diet, and this is one of the foundations in the journey. If we look at the yoga as a way of living, it's really important to become mindful and aware how we treat our body and what we really what kind of choices we make. So it is important to be mindful of our diet, how we treat our body, because the body affects the mind and they are connected. Be patient and be aware how we treat ourselves. And that's something that I also talk about in my book. To be loving and understanding and forgiving that we're human beings, we're making mistakes and we're learning, we're on this journey, and it takes time for these lessons to be mastered, and to be kind. And I also talk about compassion, like really to be compassionate with oneself, because how can we see the change in the world if we don't start changing from within? Once we really start spending time with ourselves and taking care of every aspect, then we will be able to really connect with the peace, with the love within, and create this peaceful world around us. So the lessons that I talk about in my book, so I do talk about that. I talk about movement. It's very important to connect with nature, to spend some time by ourselves. I talk about mindfulness. I talk about meditation. I talk about forgiveness, unconditional love. Gratitude is it's a big one. We really need to learn how to appreciate even the small things in our lives and to be grateful for ourselves as well. Yeah, so meditation really also impacted my life. It changed the moment I made that choice to sit down and observe what I store inside of me, allow me to really release and let go of everything that doesn't serve me.
So you to pick up on that, you mentioned last night a turning point when you had experienced 4 10-day sessions of meditation. Is that correct?
Yes.
That really influenced you. That really moved you.
Yes, I went to a Vipassana meditation retreat 4 times mainly during the summer breaks, and it was really intense. And I was meditating for about 11 hours per day for 10 days, and I did this 4 times. And each time I went back there, I was able to go deeper and deeper and really discover what is hidden, what is inside of us and who we truly, truly are. And once I was able to release the fear and to just let go of everything, all the negativity, like something really powerful unlocked within me. And I think this is one reason why I started writing. That talent was there, but I was not aware of it, and it was suppressed. And the more I was spending time by myself, I was able to unlock this inner talent and share my story with others and inspire people to really live their lives through their hearts and be the compassionate human beings who we truly are.
Something else we spoke about last night that you brought up, you're very passionate about, was the concept of mindfulness. So I'd like you to talk to us a little bit about mindfulness and how you speak about this in your book, and something else that you've been doing as a high school teacher, which I found really intriguing and very hopeful. So if you could please shed some light on that for us.
Yes. When I came back from the first 10-day retreat, I really wanted to share this technique and practice with my students. But since I didn't have that much time, I decided to look for something that I can apply in my classroom. And I did some research online, and I found a company that was offering mindfulness courses that were specially designed for teachers. And I registered for that course, and the first course was teaching me how to practice mindfulness. And I thought, oh, that's a piece of cake, mindfulness. I'm mindful all the time. But actually, the more I was practicing, the more I realized that there is so much to explore and learn and apply. And mindfulness can actually be a way also of living. Like we speak mindfully, we communicate mindfully, we eat mindfully, we exercise mindfully. Mindfulness can be applied every single moment. And I started practicing and noticing the benefits, and I registered for their second course. And the second course was how teachers can deliver this to their students. So they provided me with a curriculum, and I started implementing. I started teaching for about 2-3 minutes mindfulness every single day to my students. And they started sharing how good they feel about it. And they even reminded me in case I had forgotten to practice with them. And really, the entire environment in the classroom changes when we practice mindfulness, mindful listening, just mindfully observing the breath, mindfully observing how we feel, what comes to the surface, emotions, feelings, mindfully relaxing the whole body, being aware of the patterns of the thoughts, and just be able to detach and create that space in between. So if someone responds in an aggressive way, instead of responding in the same way, just to step back and connect with ourselves and respond from a place of love and care. So my vision was to create a classroom where my students feel safe and they can grow at their own pace and show their best. And mindfulness is really a great technique and provides this environment for students to excel. And I also practice a few times mindfulness during exams. My students ask me before exam started to practice mindfulness for 2 minutes. And so if they're asking for it, there is a reason for that.
Does it count? Does it count as part of their exam time limit, though?
I actually gave them 2-3 minutes extra at the end. So
there you go.
They didn't lose anything. They were just able to perform really, really well, and just to provide this environment where they can relax and really show their best and know that there is someone who cares for them. And yeah, so I was trying to implement mindfulness as a course. Many times I spoke with principals and vice principals. I didn't have much success, even though about 5-6 years ago, when I was teaching at Gloucester High School, the principal allowed me to teach yoga and meditation and mindfulness as part of the phys ed curriculum. So that was a big success for me. So one full semester, period 1, I was teaching yoga, meditation, mindfulness, and I had 27 girls registered in that course. And
no guys?
There was only one boy, but he made the choice not to stay. So I ended up with 27 girls. And I think that course really transformed their life in a positive way.
Isn't that something? That's wonderful. Yeah. Do you have any plans to undertake more mindfulness or Eastern or other practices in order to help students in the future?
I am. My intention is to become a spiritual teacher and travel around the world and share my wisdom with not only with students, but also with teachers and with people around the world, so that everybody can start practicing and implementing these techniques that I discovered myself and that I have been applying in my life. So I see myself more, not as much as not in a classroom environment. I see myself more on a bigger scale. I want to have a bigger impact.
I understand. So you mentioned techniques that you've discovered. Can you share with us a little bit about some experiences that may have caused you to seek out this self-development, this self-discovery? What experiences caused Desi to look for more than math and computer science?
I remember I was teaching at Gloucester High School, and I was working in the classroom with 30 computers, no windows, and I often had headaches, and I had plenty of reasons to complain about. But right next door, there was a library, and one day I decided to go and check what's on the shelf. So this book, The Magic, I came across the book The Magic by Rhonda Byrne, and she was talking about gratitude. So I started reading the book, and I said, this is for me. Like, there is a reason why this book is in my hands right now. So I took the book and I started practicing gratitude. And believe it or not, in a very short period of time, my life transformed. And I said, wow, there should be something happening here. Like, there is a reason. Like, when the moment I started appreciating what I have, instead of focusing on the fact that I was working in that classroom and I was having headaches, I decided to focus on the fact that from my office, from the small window, I was able to see the sun. Since I love nature, that meant a lot to me. And I was grateful for the fact that I have a job. It's not a full-time. It wasn't, at that point, I was not 100% contract. I was just 33%. But still, I was able to at least be in the system. And I was practicing for a few weeks, and a few weeks later, the principal from Nepean High School called and invited me to for an interview. And in a very short period of time, so I had the interview, they liked me so much, so my contract was boosted to 67%. And then they invited me again. And like in 2-3 weeks, I had the same interview with the same principal and vice principals, and my contract was boosted to 100%. And can you imagine, I moved to the new school, a classroom with big windows, and I see the trees, and there you go, magic. How is this possible? So just one shift from within, just being open to see differently and appreciate the little things in my life. So that's one of the things that made me wonder, why is this happening? Like, there is a reason. And I focused also on myself. I started expressing gratitude to myself. And I looked at myself in the mirror and I said, I love your beautiful smile. Because we can't change the person that we see. We can't change the image, but we can say like ourselves. So if I smile, what I see in the mirror will smile as well. So this is one experience. Another experience that I had, very powerful experience, it was during the meditation retreat. Something very powerful unlocked within me. So for the first few days, I was experiencing a lot of pain. And then all of a sudden, in my heart, I started feeling something that was moving. And there was so much love coming from within, so much peace, so much, like, it was warm and spreading throughout my whole body. And this told me that there is so much to explore within. And this gave me actually the motivation when I came back home, and I said to myself, I had time to practice for 11 hours, so now I should find at least 2 hours per day and sit down and meditate. So the first year was really hard just to get this routine, waking up earlier and changing my habits, watching less TV, and create the space for things that truly matter to me. And the first year was really tough, but once I established that routine of practicing every single day for 2 hours, now it's like 5 minutes, just brushing my teeth. I know I sit down, I meditate for 1 hour, and it's gone. It's like when I'm in that space, it feels like I really connect with the heart, and I feel so much bliss from inside, and that changes my whole life, really, for the good. I attract magnificent people like you and your company, and they happen. And if someone looks from outside, will say this is a miracle, and they happen because I know how to align to that source that is within each one of us. And there is abundance. There is abundance in everything. Love, peace, joy. We just need to know how to connect with it.
That we've heard in other modalities, certainly with The Secret and the Celestine Prophecy, and in some ancient writings, in fact. You mentioned last night the phrase awakening from within, and yes. you spoke about that just now, from within, and you said to me last night, awakening from within, as within, so without. You didn't use that term exactly, but as within, so the world will become around us. Can you talk a little bit about that, pertaining to maybe what's going on right now in the world?
Yes, I'll just share a little bit before I tell more about that. I'd like to share that before I was trying to change people around me, and I was, and I didn't have any success at all. I was blaming others for my pain. I was pretty much, I didn't want to take responsibility for everything, and it was much easier to say you are the one who, like, it was easier for me to judge others. And then something within told me that this is not the right approach. I have to try a different way. And I started, and the more I was practicing meditation and mindfulness and bringing my intention inward, I understood how powerful it is really to create that peace within. Because when I feel peaceful and happy with myself, then everything around me looks completely like it's okay the way it is. And there is a reason why everything is happening. Like in my life, I had to go through all these challenges for one single reason, to awaken, to really connect with myself. So this is what we're seeing nowadays. There is a reason why this is happening. We have been tested. A source, God, whatever you want, you can call it. We're provided with this opportunity to stay home and to take care of ourselves, to connect with people who we didn't have much time for them, and to tell them how much we love them and how much we want to really be there for them. And also to forgive ourselves, to be kind with ourselves, because this is the key. This is the right approach. And this is what I talk about in my book. We have to start with ourselves. And isn't that amazing that right now, 2 weeks, we have this time. We are asked to be at home. And instead of panicking and experiencing fear and being afraid of, just create that space for yourself. Be with yourself. Why is this happening? Why am I feeling in that particular way? Bring the attention inward and explore the world within. What's happening inside each one of us. And then once we connect with the love, the peace, the joy within, and then we can share all of this with others. But we first have to create it within. We can't be always out there serving others and trying to provide something that we cannot give to ourselves. How can I say to someone, I love you, if I have never said to myself, I love myself, and know what it is? So we have to really experience first and then share that with others. So yes, there is a reason, and this is a big message that the universe is sending. We did a lot of damage. We were not mindful at all. And now is the opportunity to change these destructive patterns of the mind by really bringing our intention inward. This is my message. Self-love and self-care, that is the key. So it's time. It's time really to change our way of living and start bringing our intention inward.
Well, I was going to ask you who you saw reading and benefiting from your book, but it sounds like everyone would benefit from reading your book. So how do you see certain populations benefiting from your book? People who are infirm, people who are not where they want to be in life, and, applying these techniques and these ideas that you expound upon in your work.
I personally believe that this book is really great for everybody. My inspiration were my students, my friends, and pretty much everybody that I know in my life, because in my book I talk about panic attacks, depression, and anxiety, and this is what a lot of us are going through. And as a teacher, I've noticed that the number of students who are suffering from anxiety and depression is increasing. And that's why I decided to share in my book how I was able to overcome them in a safe way. There is a way. I never used any pills. I never took any drugs. So all I was doing is observing and working with the breath. And that's something that I have been also talking as part of my journey. Breath is so important. Really bring your attention from the mind, where there is all this chaos and thoughts that are running in so many directions, to the breath, and just be mindful. Right now at this moment, I'm safe. There is really nothing that is threatening my life, because in most cases there is not a real threat. It's just something that is created in the mind. And so teenagers, they can definitely benefit from my book. I share a lot of mindfulness techniques in my book, techniques that I teach to my students, techniques that I apply personally, and techniques that help me overcome my panic attacks and also depression. At some point in life, I was so lost and all the time asked God, why was I born? Like, what is the purpose? There is so much suffering. And I never, at that point, never saw like what was the purpose, but there was as if something was pushing me from behind. Just keep going, you will discover, you will get there. And so I was able to go through that period, and my motivation was school at that point, just to perform well and give my best and just trust. This was really trust. Everything is happening for my best. And so I was able to overcome depression and really without taking any drugs, and be able to discover and realize that everything was happening for a reason. Like all these fears that I overcame, they helped me actually discover my potential. They helped me look at myself from a different perspective. They were just trying to show me how capable, how talented, how much potential I had. So they were just trying to look at myself from a different perspective. And when they pretty much accomplished their mission, they were gone. The fears dissolved and they're not anymore there. So it's just pretty much the fear is asking me to step out of my comfort zone, and instead of suppressing, because suppressing doesn't work, avoiding doesn't work. You have to be there and observe. There is a reason for everything. And it is asking for your attention. And this is what I did. I just stood there, observed. There were times when it was really hard. I was crying. And this was my way to release. And it was at some point, there was really nothing else. And it was just love, peace, joy. And this is how under all these layers, there's the light. And I was able to connect with it because I was observing darkness. I was observing everything that wasn't serving me. And eventually I was able to connect. So that's for the teenagers. And I believe actually everybody who is going, it's not just teenagers that are going through depression and panic attacks. I hear more and more that even people at my age and older are having these kind of, they're also going through these challenges, have to face these challenges. And again, it's part of the journey. It's part of the path. We are challenged so that we can expand and evolve as souls. In my book, also talk about relationships, like how important it is to create a healthy relationship with yourself. We want to have healthy relationships with others. But if I don't love myself, if I don't care for myself, then how can I provide really the best for the other person who I would like to spend my whole life with? And if I don't understand why I'm behaving in a particular way when I'm under stress, how can I understand why the other person is behaving in that particular way? So the more I know and learn about myself, the more open I am and more understanding and compassionate I am when the other person is behaving in a certain way. And I can create that space for the other, and instead of responding from the same place of aggression and feeding the violence with violence, just to respond from a place of love and care, and pretty much allow the other person to create the space for the other person to relax and then connect with his or her own heart and respond from that same place.
Paying attention to the messages and the fear dissolving after serving its purpose. You know, there's a lot of ancient wisdom here, and I'm wondering if you're planning to write a sequel, or if you've already written one. Are you working on anything new?
Yes, my second book is already completed, and right now it is edited. It is in the process of being edited, okay. And the book is called "Heal Yourself from Within." And right now I'm also writing my third book, and it's called "You're a Powerful Creator, Be the Change." So yes, there is more coming.
When can we expect to see those next two books?
Yeah, I hope the second book will be out this year. This is my intention. We'll see what the universe says, because I believe that everything happens at the right moment, and I'm just going with the flow and allowing things to happen. And I'm still writing my third book, so we'll see. Maybe in the next few years it will be out there as well.
Well, that's wonderful. Is there anything else you would like to mention at this point? You've got the platform. I'm giving it to you. Is there anything else you'd like to talk about here in relation to your book or otherwise?
Yes, I just want to encourage people to continue exploring and trusting that everything happens for a reason and it's for their best. And whenever there is a challenge, try to look from different perspectives, to look at it from different perspectives. And to be patient, that's very important, to be kind and loving with oneself, and to believe that everything really happens for their best. And at some point, they will discover how magnificent, how unique they are, and how important they are, and how worthy they are. And each one of us is a very important part of the whole. We are all connected. We are all one. And how we feel affects, how each one of us feels affects the whole. So it's really important to first start the change with ourselves before we change the world and have a positive impact on the world.
Well, that's wonderful. Desislava Simeonova, it's been an honor conducting the interview with you. One more time, can you tell us your website?
Yes, my website is www.thepathbydesi.com.
And your book, The Path, available at Indico Pinecrest here in Ottawa, and also through your publisher, Balboa Publishing. Is that correct?
Correct. Yes, it's also available on Amazon and Barnes & Noble, and also on the Indigo website.
And on the Indigo website, of course. Yeah. Maybe we'll see you at a signing one day. Thank you very much, Desi, and stay safe in these times. And I know you'll continue to look for more opportunity. And I hope to meet you in person very soon.
Yes, thank you very much for this opportunity, and I wish you all the best. Take care of yourself, and we'll stay in touch. Namaste.
Namaste. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Are you a writer? Are you seeking to self-publish high-quality and mass-marketable books? Would you like to avoid the typical low-quality self-published book that generally sells less than 50 copies? Here are top 10 ways Agora will make your book look like a potential bestseller. AgoraPublishing.com services include: number 1, ISBN registration; 2, cataloging in publication or CIP registration; number 3, books in print basic for Canada and the US; number 4, books in print international to get your book sold with online booksellers internationally; number 5, copy editing for basic grammar and typos; number 6, substantive editing for style revamping and other consulting; number 7, typesetting, layout, and graphic design essential for that professional look; number 8, book cover design; number 9, book website and author blog design along with search engine optimization, often just called SEO, and also search engine marketing, otherwise known as SEM. 10, AgoraPublishing.com even provides book distribution, agency services, and so much more. So what are you waiting for? Go to AgoraPublishing.com today and find out how they can make you a great selling author. That's AgoraPublishing.com. AgoraPublishing.com.